I feel like I'm like, buenos dias, hola, and then I'm like,
AG3 Family. AG3 Family. Travel is a very fun treat with the AG3 Family. Taking off a 1, 2, 3 with the AG3 Family. It takes back living indeed with the AG3 Family. Sit tight and buckle your seats with the AG3 Family.
Hey, Pasa AG3 fam, bienvenidos
welcome.
to another episode of the AG3 family. How y'all doing? ¿Cómo estáis? Thank you guys for your patience and also your prayers, because as you know, I was down and out for a couple of months. February and March was very hard with bronchitis and the flu. It was just really bad, but we're back. God healed me and we are back in action. So, but without further ado, in today's episode, we will be covering how many things?
Maybe about 5.
We're going to be talking about some of the things that we necessarily don't like about Spain, and specifically this area in Andalusia, because you know we live in the south. The north is a whole nother area like we've covered before. These are our experiences personally. You may have your own experience. This is our experience, so keep that in mind.
So, our dislikes of Spain. Number 1, the bureaucracy here in Spain. The way businesses and the government and policies are ran. So the biggest complaint is it's harder to get things done, or it takes longer. It's a longer process to get certain things done. For example, opening up a bank account or purchasing a vehicle. Those things in the country, in comparison of the United States, it can be done quickly in the same day or a few hours. Versus here in Spain, it may take months for us to figure out what we need and how to get those things done. And so it really takes a lot of patience here in Spain when you live here and you have to get your business done. Don't expect to have things done quickly, and because that it just doesn't work like that here in this country.
Us coming from a military background, it was, like she said, it was drilled ingrained in us to work hard, excellence in all you do, to work with efficiency, to get things done quickly, to have that work mentality. So to come here and to see that it's, you know, you may not get the results you want when you want it. So you got to have patience.
Right. So efficiency. The efficiency of work is just different. And I feel like this is a very fair and unbiased way of explaining, you know, for someone who would be interested in coming to this area. These may be some issues that you may run into. It cannot even be an issue, just a bump in the road or just something to be on the lookout for.
Or an issue.
All right, so number 2, summer. Woo!
Summer.
Number 2, guys, is the heat here in southern Spain and Andalusia.
It's hot right now.
Yeah. How hot does it get here in Andalusia? Let's say we're talking from June to September.
June to September, I mean, high 90s, 100 plus
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
We're in the 3 digits a lot of times.
It's very common in the summer and your house heats up. It's expensive to run your AC when you have a big family like us and you have to cool down multiple rooms. It can get pricey sometimes. It's a lot of walking done here in Spain. So in the States, we drive a lot of places, but when you walk here and you have to do it in the summer,
you're gonna sweat, you're gonna perspire, and the heat here is not only is it very, very hot, but it's very dry here. It's very a little bit desert-like in certain areas. So, and on top of that, many of the homes here in these areas are not central air. So each room may have to have a fan, and some rooms, some of the main rooms may have a wall, an AC wall unit, but the central air in homes are not common, and so that is the issue with the heat. So many times in the summertime in Spain, it's 3 to 5, sometimes 5 p.m., shops and local businesses will be closed because it's just too hot.
Up north is great. We had a video when we went to Asturias for the summer and took a cool down. I love that.
Perfect. The weather was so perfect.
Well, I would stay in our studios the entire summer. I wouldn't care. We went to the beach and everything.
Right.
We got in the water. It was great. You know, it's just every place has its thing about it, you know, that you're gonna like or you're not gonna like.
Right.
Hopefully we can migrate away from the South one day and have that luxury to beat the heat.
So, number three on the list.
It's probably the logistics and maybe like the mail delivery system, package delivery system. It's not a huge issue, but when it happens, it's kind of annoying. For example, like in the States, when you're not home, they drop the package, right? Unless you have signature service specified on that part. But normal pieces, they'll drop at your door. Now, granted, in the States, we got the problem with people stealing your packages off of your doorstep. It's a thing now, but it used to not be a thing. But here, like, they won't deliver the package if you're not home. Like, they'll deliver it to a neighbor, and they might call you if you have a number on file. And if you don't answer, they'll just deliver it to the neighbor, or they'll take it back to the logistics office and you have to go pick it up. Sometimes when that happens, they won't notify you that your package has been taken back to DHL, FedEx, or whatever. So you'll come home and you'll get a delivery notification like, oh, my package has been delivered. Where is it?
Right.
It's not here. Who has it? And that's when the Sherlock Holmes investigation begins, because you got to figure out who has my package.
Scavenger hunt. You go on a scavenger hunt for your packages.
And that happens how often?
Quite often.
Quite often. Sometimes we've gone to their doors, our neighbors' houses, and rung the doorbell and said, hey, do you have our package? It says it was delivered, you know, and I don't want to do that and inconvenience people.
And vice versa, but we've received packages for our neighbors as well, so it's just one of those things that we've gotten used to.
You won't know that coming in, because that's nothing that nobody just explains to you.
Yeah.
You kind of got to just go through it and figure it out, and then you're like, okay, well, a little inconvenient, but something to be aware of if you live or decide to live here and have packages delivered. It's a little different, you know, and it requires your patience and your wisdom, your knowledge to understand how they do this.
Okay, guys, so our fourth point would be connections and relationships. We understand perfectly that being foreigners, the diversity that we represent, a lot of people in this smaller town that we live in may not be used to it. The lifestyle that we live, the things that we believe, our mentality is completely different than most people that live here in this area. So I see that maybe sometimes our lifestyle, we don't have a lot in common with the people here, and so that can pose a little bit of a separation. But I'm still very happy. I'm okay with not having a lot of friends, but we have made some beautiful connections here with other Americans as well as Spaniards here. So it's a healthy balance, but you can pose that issue of having people kind of looking at you as a foreigner and not really understanding you and your culture. And so I feel like we get a little bit of reluctancy to connect, which is completely fine.
Like, I feel like we do a decent job with going out and trying to connect with people. I think when we came here, we really inserted ourselves and tried to get out there, and really, like, not aggressively but naturally try to make friends. And we thought we were doing that, and I guess over time they kind of showed their true colors and went ahead and went their own way, which is fine. I guess that happens everywhere, but there's a challenge with trying to integrate and make friends, just because I feel like the culture here, they're used to family, they're very family oriented, but these people come up from like childhood to adulthood, you know, doing the same things yearly. They have the same traditions.
Yeah.
So when you bring different people into the mix, into the culture, I guess sometimes they don't see you. Sometimes it's hard for them to just bring you on board, or for you to integrate with them just because
Right.
they're used to being with family and friends that they've known for years.
So, and to add to that, the best way I can explain this to someone who is interested in living in Spain is to understand this. The most beautiful thing about Spain is their preservation of their culture. They are very traditional. The things that they do, they've been doing for centuries, and that's the beauty of this country, that you can come here and still get those ferias, those fairs, those family-oriented things. And the part about this culture, things will never change. But with that, you have I tell people it's a double-edged sword, because you have the challenge of there being a little bit lack of understanding about other cultures and other people, because this country is so focused on preserving your culture, which is completely understandable. It's fine. But so I would think that that's the best unbiased way to explain it. The beauty of Spain, it's preservation of their culture, but also that can pose as a disadvantage of Spain as well, because with that you have a lack of knowledge and lack of understanding about other cultures. Long story short, we don't feel offended by the lack of connection. We don't feel offended.
Yeah.
We understand it, and we're completely okay with just being happy and with us. We have each other, and we have our people who we do connect with, and the ones who don't want to connect, it's perfectly fine. Which leads us to our last and final point. So this last dislike of Spain is more so a personal AG3 family dislike, and that would be the small town blues. Baby, what is the small town blues?
I got the blues. Well, we say small town blues because when we talk about blues, we talk about things that gets on your nerves sometimes, and you want to sing the blues and you get in your feelings. You might get a little bit disappointed. You might get hurt by somebody because you're in a smaller environment. You're in a smaller town. The mindset changes, right? Big city, big mindset. Things are different in big cities. We're in a smaller town. We've had some issues with the growing pains of being in a small town. For me, I will say that I believe that Joy has felt the brunt of that because I'm at work most of the day. She, however, on the other hand, is here all day, integrated with the people, the culture, taking the kids to school. She feels a lot more of the effects of the small town. So how do you think, with that being said, how do you think the effects of the small towns have been with you being here?
I feel like that has been probably one of the hardest things for me, is living in the smaller town, and we fell victim to gossip. There have been certain people, small percentage of people in this town, who have decided to start lies and rumors about me and our family. And like Amos said, he doesn't really see a lot of it or get experience. But me, when I walk our children to school or when I'm out in town doing my business, I can see the looks and I can feel the energy, because I'm a very spiritual and in tune person. And like we said before, we're Christians, and so I feel the energy of I don't know what it is, but sometimes I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. I feel like I'm like, buenos dias, hola, and then I'm like,
damn.
And people just, some people go out of their way to not say hi. Some people give you that nasty hola. And it's just for 3 years I've known that we've been talked about and lied on and things like that. And I've been quiet and I've just continued to have my joy and my peace. But after 3 years, I feel like a little bit emotionally and psychologically worn down. And so I have to find my strength from God. I have to find my strength from my family, my children. And so that's what I've been doing. My head is going to be high, but we're going to continue to be us. And I feel like I'm so proud of our family and our children. And we're not perfect. We are human. We've made mistakes. But I will never allow for anybody to take the peace and joy of our family, because they didn't give it to us. God gave it to us. And so, but I'm reminded of one of my favorite books and movies, and that's The Color Purple by Alice Walker. There is a very powerful scene where the main character, Celie, is being attacked verbally. And that's what I feel. My response is simple.
I'm poor, black, I may even be ugly, but dear God, I'm here. I'm here.
And Celie's response was so profound and so simple. So our response will be the same as hers. En otras palabras, la gente que habla mala de mí y mi familia, tú puedes creer lo que quiera. Pero estamos aquí. Por Dios, estamos aquí.
People just are going to be people regardless of where you go in the world, not just here, but you have to have a firm foundation within yourself and here to know, where does your peace come from? Our peace comes from God. Christ is everything to us, and he keeps our mind so level. The small town blues is real.
It's real.
You got your good days and you got your bad days. And we just had a beautiful camping trip.
We did, and that was a great getaway.
Yeah, with mixed crowd. It wasn't
Right.
just all Americans. We had some of our
Spaniard friends.
Spaniards
It was a
there.
great time.
Yeah, I do feel that Utrera is a stepping stone to somewhere else. We'll enjoy it while we're here. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Right. We're here until God says otherwise. So part of the reason of us even bringing this episode is out of what? Our almost 30 episodes we've came out with. Not really a lot have been negative, but we've been getting comments from our viewers saying, hey, give us some realistic negative things. And so we respectfully came up with this list.
Could we say more?
Absolutely, yes.
Hey man, you could always complain. I mean, you know how to complain, but like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching.
Thank you
As
so
always, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your prayers.
Stay tuned. Summertime is coming. We got so many
Yeah.
trips, exciting changes for our family that's coming up. And we are ready, guys, to share it with you all.
Blessings to you guys. Find peace in your life wherever you are, wherever life takes you. So, until next time, hasta luego, be blessed, and hug.
someone.
Right, guys. AG3 Fam out.